Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Division video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the Pulse. Now some of you guys might be thinking, well hold on, the game has been out for nearly 2 months now and I already know what the Pulse is for. So what is the point in this video? And the reason for this video is partly because I want to reinforce that there's more to this skill than just the tactical scanner mod, and also dispel a couple of misconceptions relating to damage stacking with this skill. So, if you guys do enjoy this video, and you do find it helpful, then a like would be super appreciated, and comment down below and let me know if you have any questions. So, to begin with, we all know what the Pulse skill is for. You send out a pulse, and if there are targets in range, be that hostile or neutral, they're then tagged or identified for a short period of time, and that not only allows you to get the lay of the land, but it also allows you to see people through walls. And if you then attack the people that are identified by the pulse, you have increased critical hit chance and critical hit damage against that target. But again, you already know this. Now as for the Master mod, once you've unlocked everything, then the skill passively warns you if there are hostiles nearby, and it does this by flashing red on top of the skill icon. The faster the flashes, the nearer the threat. The slower the flashes, the further away it is. However, on top of that, it will also tell you if you've been scanned by someone else's pulse too. If you're scanned by a neutral player, then you get white squares like this all over your body, and if you're scanned by a hostile player, i.e. a rogue, then those squares are red. So, to anyone that might have perhaps missed this in all the other stuff going on screen, that is how you tell. But, now let's talk about the mods. Recon Pack, Scrambler and Tactical Scanner. Recon Pack is probably the most underused mod, partly because people often skim over the first part and skip straight to the second. This pulse is capable of locating nearby loot containers, which is useful if you're farming and perhaps don't have a predetermined farming route, but it's important to realise that this mod also gives the pulse an increased range. And while yes, admittedly if you're using this as an offensive skill for the critical damage and critical boost, then this won't give you as much bang for your buck as you would get with say Tactical Scanner. This does however allow you to tag targets from a much greater distance. And that most definitely has its uses, whether you're pursuing a fleeing target, trying to engage from a distance, or perhaps just looking for a bit more intel, this does genuinely have its uses. Second to that, you have Scrambler, where the pulse protects the user and all allies from hostile pulse scans, and despite the way it's worded, this can still be used preemptively and reactively. If you're scanned and you know it thanks to the Master mod, then using the Scrambler afterwards will remove the enemy's pulse from you, meaning that the critical hit chance and damage boost that they'd normally have on you will be removed, but also any sort of tracking they have by means of seeing you through walls is also gone. So, if you're looking to escape from someone, then this skill is invaluable. In fact, if you run around the Dark Zone solo and pulse is your thing, while the damage boost from the Tactical Scanner mod might be appealing, I would honestly take Scrambler over that simply because this has so much more utility when it comes to evading other players or groups. And on the flip side, while the Division is quite obviously not a stealth action game, should you want to get the drop on someone, then this is realistically the only way you're going to do it. And as for the final mod, well, you're all no doubt very familiar with this one. Not only does this give you a boost to your critical hit chance and critical hit damage against pulse targets, but it also gives you a flat damage boost too, which is not something you get on the other two pulses. And that is usually what makes it the fan favourite when taking it into combat. But therein lies the reason I made this video. See, believe it or not, despite what you may have heard, the pulse does not stack with pulses from your fellow teammates. However, the way in which it works is a little bit confusing, and it's therefore understandable why you may be led to believe that it does in fact stack. See, the way the pulse actually works is that the most powerful pulse in a team takes priority. So in this example, I'm testing out some damage against these level 32 enemies on challenge mode with my teammate Zupa. My skill power is around 13,000, his is around 30,000, so his pulse is better than mine in every way, shape and form. Now do bear in mind, given that we can't team up in the firing range, I'm somewhat reliant on enemies staying put, plus critical hit damage numbers are somewhat variable, but regardless, will work within the appropriate ranges. In this example, a critical body shot with no pulse active deals somewhere in the region of 32 to 33,000 damage. If I then use my pulse, which again is the weaker of the two, I now deal between 42 to 44,000 damage, which of course is more than before, given that my pulse is active. However, if Zupa then goes and applies his pulse, you'll then see upon landing further critical shots, I deal yet more critical hit damage ranging from around 46 to 48,000 damage. Do bear in mind that there's a bit of damage drop off at this range, hence the reason for the fluctuating numbers. But in this situation alone, with no further evidence, it would be easy to assume that pulse stacks, right? Wrong. See, if we test this in reverse, you'll see that if Zupa leads with his pulse, I do around 53,000 damage, and if I then apply my pulse, you'll see there is no noticeable damage increase, again doing around 53,000 damage. and that is because Zupa's pulse, which is stronger, takes priority, and in this case, mine, which is weaker, is actually useless. Also, do bear in mind that the reason the values are a little bit larger to those of just a moment ago is of course because the enemies move closer. Now yes, if I had a different mod, you can stack the different bonus effects, like the ability to find loot caches, or prevent enemies from targeting you at all at the same time, but the actual damage bonus and the critical damage bonus do not stack. Now I've tested this extensively in a number of different situations, both inside and outside the Dark Zone, and the results are always the same. If you lead with the more powerful pulse, the lesser pulse is simply a waste of time. And if you lead with the lesser pulse, the greater pulse will simply override it. So if you're going to apply this to Team Synergy, then you're either better off having people run with different mods to allow you to make the most of the bonuses, which is what we do. Usually we have one tactical scanner on a high skill power player and one scrambler as the lesser option. Alternatively, if you want multiple damage boost options, then you simply need to ensure that when you apply the next one, the first one has run out, so as to avoid wasting the effects or any unnecessary overlap. And that is pretty much all there is to it. That is what you need to know about Pulse, and that should hopefully dispel any misconceptions with regards to whether damage does or does not stack with multiple pulses. Again, if you guys have any questions, then by all means let me know down below, and thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.